I told you every time this administration gets in trouble, they're going to do something to distract you using trans people. When did this country start writing bills and voting on bills about stuff that actually isn't happening? You don't really believe that trans kids are getting surgeries, do you? You don't believe that puberty blockers were created for trans kids, do you? Most trans people don't think that trans kids should be getting surgeries. So what are we arguing about? If a kid thinks he's trans or she's trans, then she is sent to a psychotherapist. The therapist will suggest that the kid tries to socially transition, meaning they wear clothes that aren't the clothes they were wearing before. Have you noticed how similar clothes are getting, especially for kids? We're talking a haircut and clothes where the buttons are sewn on the other side. If a trans kid at the age of 12 is feeling like they are in the wrong body still or want to live in another body, well, then they go on puberty blockers, which are created for cis kids. Puberty blockers were created to treat precocious puberty, and they'll still be used to treat that condition. There's a small segment of the population of boys that get this thing called gynecomastia. It's when boys grow boobs. Boys get embarrassed, so they go to a doctor, and the doctor removes them. I guess there's a disclaimer, a disqualifier somewhere in the Bible that says it's okay for them to change their bodies, but not okay for trans kids to change their bodies. Suddenly, God made a mistake. Some little boys get a little part of them removed right after birth because they're way too young to consent. Now people have to rebuild it as adults. Intersex children get surgery because their parents want it and a doctor says it's the right thing to do. Again, the child has no say in it. What's important to notice is that none of these medications were created for trans people. None of them. It's fine when other kids use them, but it's a big problem when trans kids use them. I wonder why. The files were supposed to be released today. Are they being released? Of course not. They're breaking the law by not doing it. So much was made of trans kids in sports. Well, what was it? 10 kids? But they use that issue, this make-believe issue, now to restrict adult athletes. They say they want to protect kids. Well, if they wanted to protect kids, they would have released the files. They use kids as an entry to start the discussion about adults getting gender-affirming care. The vast majority of people are happy being trans, but the few detransitioners looking for clicks and likes have made a big deal of it because they made a bad choice. Every trans person I've ever known in this long life had known they were trans as children. 45 years since my transition, and I haven't met one trans person who regrets it. I wonder what issues, what medical care you'd be okay with the government deciding your kid can't get when you've made the decision with your kid and the doctor agrees. I grew up in a neighborhood where every girl with a big nose, when she turned 16, she went to see a doctor and came back to school with a little nose. Now I wonder how many of them are getting nose jobs and implants. I bet a lot more than you expect. These boys with man boobs get them removed because they're being ridiculed. But now they're encouraging that same kid to misgender and to ridicule a trans kid. They have the ability to make life a lot more difficult. But take it from me, someone who transitioned 45 years ago, where there's a will, there's a way. Seek and you shall find.